down in Jamaica, as you can imagine, they are reeling from Hurricane Melissa. Now, if I have it right, and we'll check with Rabbi Raskin in a second, I believe Hurricane Melissa hit land on Tuesday. That's 8 days ago. Rabbi Yaakov and Chaya Raskin are directors of Chabad of Jamaica. They've turned their home into a critical relief resource despite severe damage to their building. They're housing stranded tourists, displaced locals. They're operating phone charging stations. We were given the opportunity to speak to Rabbi Raskin, and we jumped at it. Anybody out there who wants to help, by the way, they need the help. The way to help is jewishjamaica.com/Melissa. 2 S's in Melissa. jewishjamaica.com/Melissa. And we'll talk about dropping stuff off, etc. Since 2014, the Raskins have operated Chabad of Jamaica in Montego Bay. Rabbi Raskin, a pleasure to welcome you to JM in the AM.
Boker Tov, good morning.
Great to speak to you. I think I'm right that this hurricane, which is a record breaker, and I can only imagine how much damage it did to your area, hit land 8 days ago. Could you tell us, are you in an area of Jamaica that was hardest hit, that it could have been much worse, lucky to be alive? How would you describe the actual impact?
Literally lucky to be alive. I think we were just outside the eye at Treasure Beach, which is just an hour and a half, 2 hours away from us. Really, everybody's calling it flattened. For them, it's going to take a year to recover, if not longer. But the main areas that got hit is the city next to us, Trelawney, our city, which is St. James, Montego Bay, Savlamar, and Treasure Beach, Black River, that whole upper west side of Jamaica.
Are the tourists that were stranded there, and I get it, people may ask, oh, why didn't you try to leave and all that? The logistics don't always make that possible, especially if you're trying to evacuate a large number of people. Are the tourists still with you?
So tourists are not with us. Thank God the airports opened up. Kingston opened up on Friday because Kingston, thank God, was not hit as bad as our side. Montego Bay Airport opened up this Sunday or Monday. And so people are, slowly seeing that people are able to leave, people are able to evacuate. We got my wife and kids out on Friday morning, sent them to Florida for Shabbos.
Wow.
To safety.
Good idea. Were you in Jamaica for Shabbos?
I was in Jamaica for Shabbos. I arrived back from the airport a half an hour before. It was a happy Shabbos to be alive, and, a sad Shabbos, what normally we have on our Shabbos table.
What would a normal Shabbos be like? Are you year-round inundated by tourists and guests?
Yes. Year-round, a normal Shabbos, easily 30 to 60 guests.
Wow.
Sitting on our terrace that has a porch with fans, lights, overlooking the Caribbean Sea. We have a beautiful view from the Chabad house. People are coming and going. And my wife, of course, prepares, cooks a storm. So, when you arrive a half an hour before Shabbos, you take out every canned food you have.
Yeah.
Thank God I had some herring from Simchas Torah. was so tasty.
Your menu went in a direction I'm very familiar with. Rabbi Raskin's with us from Jamaica. How do you assess the damage to the Chabad house? I mean, if someone would ask you in terms of how long the shul, the Chabad house, your own personal space, how long it's going to take to recover, what do you tell them?
So the Chabad house suffered loss of over $500,000.
Wow.
All our gates, the security gates of the property compromised. My baby's room, it was a glass room, which we did cover very well with wood before. Any protection that we put up, on the windows, the protection fell off. We have a few rooms that, the windows shattered, and we're going to need to fix those. We had a miracle in the shul, literally a miracle that, it's a Category 5. The shul is all covered and everything, and it's high up. But as the wind's going, I'm like, you know what? I'm worried that whatever it's such strong winds, the water finds itself in. And so even before the strong wind's coming in, anywhere in the Chabad house that, it could stick its head through, water is coming in. So I ran to the shul, and I covered the floor thank God I kept all these cardboard boxes. Good you never throw things out. So I covered the entire floor with cardboard boxes, and, it sucked in all the water, so did not compromise this farm. All the talisim got very wet. One of our big ACs is damaged, and one of the windows shattered, which thank God did not, it's a good window that the glass didn't break, like my kids' room, that, the glass is all over the place.
Right. Is there working electricity right now where you are?
Where we are, there's no working electricity probably for the next, probably till December. That's what they're saying. They are working hard to get things back in our city because it's the main city for tourism. And even though people got very hit, let's say the Hyatt hotels across the street from us, they said they're not open till February.
Wow.
Another hotel that's across the street from us, I spoke to the manager yesterday. She said she's trying to get a part of it open by December 5th.
So the ripple effect of this episode is massive.
Huge. So this is our place. In other cities, forget about tourism over there for the next year.
Wow.
So Ocho Rios can accept tourism. Negril will accept tourism. Kingston, some places in Montego Bay, but the other parts are devastated. I'm going out there with, we have a team of volunteers, partially going to give out food and water. We had a guy from the Chabad house, an Israeli, and he has Jamaican friends. So he went to go visit his friend's grandmother, who went into a devastated place. She lost her entire house.
Oh.
She came here. We let her sleep at the Chabad house and everything. She joined us for Friday night dinner. She said 2 days she did not eat. There was no dry eye by that. We're sitting with canned food by the table, but there was no dry eye but just to hear that. And that is how, right now, before I even start rebuilding, I'm trying to get out to these places where all the bigger reliefs, they're going to the main places, are not reaching. So we're getting, to the mountains and all those areas.
How many people do you have who volunteer to go on these missions for you and with you?
So right now we have 6 volunteers. We have 2 Bahrain who came in from the U.S., and then I have another 4 local volunteers. The good part, some of the local volunteers staying with us. Another local volunteers is in another city next to us. So she comes to the Chabad, picks up supplies, and goes out.
And for those wondering how you're speaking to us, because I'm assuming you're on a cell phone, you have your own source of electricity?
So thank God. We just got, we were, in general in Jamaica, any storm, we would lose electricity, water for a day or 2 or 3 days. When you have to, you're the only kosher place in town and you have 10 freezers, you need to get a generator. So we were blessed by an incredible sponsor who gave us a huge generator. We have a big Chabad house that can hold up the entire place, and we got it just before Hurricane Beryl.
Wow.
So Hurricane Beryl, which was tiny compared to this, we didn't have electricity and water for a month. So we were operating on the generator, and right now I'm operating on generator. I just got back cell phone service yesterday. And we're blessed. Someone brought in from New York to me a couple Starlinks because my Starlink got compromised, so I could use it on the go. And when I travel, and that's how I could stay connected. For 5 days, we were disconnected from everybody. It was pretty interesting.
So how is the plane, PLANE, effort coordinated if they couldn't reach you? Because a plane actually left, am I right, before Shabbos to go to Jamaica with supplies?
Yes. So thank God my wife she never gave up on her American number.
Wow.
Which was a great move.
Wow.
So right after the storm, which we lost contact, and Mamish, Klal Yisrael, and all the shluchim around the world were davening for us. I just asked everybody to daven. The building was shaking. Sitting with a 5-month-old baby in a room. At a certain point, I told my wife and kids the safest place was a bathroom, which had no windows and everything.
Right.
And, even our safe room was well covered and everything. We planned this out. There's snacks. They downloaded a Tavito before,
Right.
Shouldn't be any traumatic experience. So after the storm, which in the middle of the storm, actually, one of our windows blew open, and I ran to get my mattress from my room and my bedboard to hold those doors and windows closed.
Wow.
And put like a whole contraption with beds. The rain is nonstop coming in. We had like water all over the place. The room's flooded. And so right after all that, literally I was tug of war with Melissa. She went to the area. I said, it looks like it's calm now. She checked her phone. She said 2 bars. T-Mobile was working here. I think I don't know if they connected with Starlink. And we were able to just tell everybody we're okay, we're safe, a lot of damage.
Unbelievable.
And we're now to help everybody.
Rabbi Yaakov Raskin's with us. He's director of Chabad of Jamaica with his wife, Chaya. You got to help out everybody. You can go to the website, jewishjamaica.com/Melissa. There are 2 S's in Melissa, jewishjamaica.com/Melissa. And we'll talk about the drop-off in a second. So that plane that I'm referring to, again, put together, I'm assuming, volunteers and just great brothers and sisters that all of us have around the world. That's what I'm assuming. I assume it had a tremendous amount of supplies, right? That it had a whole bunch of stuff that you needed.
A whole bunch of stuff. I must say, our good friend and supporter, Avi Galina, together with Hatzola Ear and Kosher KC Market in South Florida and the Chabad Rabbi Tenenhouse from Chabad of Hallandale, filled up cases of canned foods, geschmack, kosher stuff, and clothes, medicine, satellite phone, because I'm going to these places I have nowhere to talk to.
Right.
A Starlink. So it was, I must say, the hug from the Jewish people, from our brother and sister, is felt gratefully. And just the amount of people, someone came to visit us years ago, just sent me a text or a call, an email. At these moments, it just, you just feel the love to another level, like mamish mikam Yisrael, literally.
Unbelievable. Before we talk about the drop-off, which we'll get to in a second, I'm just curious, and maybe others are curious. When the emergency starts, right, you start this battle with Melissa, as you described, and you're trying to protect your family. How many hours is it till you could actually breathe a sigh of relief that the damage is extensive and horrible, but it's over?
So it was 4.5 hours, about.
Wow.
And even when it stopped, the rain still came, and there was still, these gusts, crazy winds, till, so let's say it started at 2:30. It started about, exact time, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I had service till 2:30.
Wow.
2:30 was, when we knew the eye arrived onto the island, about that time. And as soon as I arrived, service was gone. And so it was a very slow storm. Like Daryl, I remember it was 2 hours of crazy gust winds or less than that, and gegangen, it was over. Here, it just didn't stop, and you're just davening and asking Hashem, enough, stop this already, You just, and actually at the end, I just said, you know what? I was telling Hashem enough. I'm going to sing Hallel to him.
Wow.
Hallel, I'm alive.
Baruch Hashem.
And I'm singing Hallel. I'm holding the matches, saying Hallel. And I'm finishing Keiliata V'Aidaka. And that's when it started to calm.
Oh.
I maybe should have started saying Hallel earlier.
You've learned, if God forbid, there's another storm. Rabbi Raskin's with us. And, Rabbi Raskin, the timing is amazing. Not that there's ever a coincidence. God is the ultimate producer, as I like to say. It's 8 days later, and today is the day we're speaking to you. Today, the day that so many people in New York, in our community, and around the world who are watching what's going on in New York, are so focused on the changes that are happening before our very eyes. And I think it's really important to remember the message that you just told us, and that is that He, the one above, is in charge. He is who guides everything. He is who decides when the storm, whether it's a political storm or a rainstorm, starts and stops. And I think there's an important message in there, especially a day like today.
Absolutely. And, what keeps us going here continuously, especially through this moment now, which is, last night it hit me for the first time, wife and kids away, place is a mess, broken all over. The Rebbe told Dr. Jonathan Sachs, the former chief rabbi of the UK,
right?
A Yid never gets into a situation. A Yid got to make a situation. And so the moment, yes, we're all beaten up over here. First thing is how we can bring the word of Hashem to every single human being over here. And, first, of course, to our Yiddish community here, and then to our neighbors. And there's something after disaster, neighbors that living in our Yid community of the Chabad house who never stop by to say good morning or hello to me, or we didn't even know that they're here. There's that neighborly love over here and in the entire island of just caring for one another. It's special.
It is amazing, and on the other end, and I know you appreciate that, and you appreciate the friendliness and the outreach, but the Kiddush Hashem that you and those around you, are doing on a regular basis, but especially in situations like this, inviting in Jew and non-Jew alike for whatever life-saving supplies they need, and just to help them get back on their feet, or they give them a good word and some encouragement. I mean, it really is amazing. It's a tremendous lesson for all of us watching how you operate. And again, I'm reminding everybody that you're sitting in a devastated area right now. 8 days after the storm, it's a devastated area. Go to jewishjamaica.com/Melissa. Now, Rabbi Raskin, I have here two addresses, and both of them, frankly, are addresses that are surrounded by our listeners, so I hope they'll participate. I have a New York area address in Newark, New Jersey of 257 Verona Avenue, and I have a South Florida address in Hollywood, Florida of 2927 Bogota Avenue. Now, what's the story with this? Do you literally want people to bring supplies, cases, boxes? Is it other things that are being collected? What's happening with this actual relief, physical relief effort?
So there, Mikam Yisrael, a lot of people reached out, and you didn't have access to companies that can donate generators, boxes of tarp, clothes, canned food, and that's what it's mainly made for. Essential items. We have a list on our website. It should be as well on the relief website that. Exactly which items should be sent. It's not like if someone has old clothes sitting in the house that they didn't wear for 10 years, which can probably come to use, but
right, but not in this context.
Like, right? Someone has a closed box or a brand new generator, and they're able to donate it. It's literally going to save lives over here, and that's why we set up these addresses. I'm very thankful to Reb Shaul Horowitz from his company for opening his warehouse to accept the supplies so we could get out the container by early next week. I want to close it up before Shabbos. And my good friend Shlomo Shemesh from Florida, who accepted in his private home area to accept all these boxes and to ship it to us. If anybody maybe knows of a faster way, air cargo that is, willing to donate space on their air to get it here faster, that would be huge.
Wow.
We got already 2, flights in. Actually, the neighboring shliach from Cayman Islands right away sent for our fellow Yid in a tiny plane, 6-seater, but stuffed it up with 6 long battery packs. It can hold up a fridge for 8 hours, 1 generator, tarps.
Is your generator still working? The one you described, the massive one, is that able to just keep going 24 hours a day?
Yes, a miracle. That I say Hurricane Beryl really got me ready for the aftermath.
Right.
So I have all these, like a few diesel companies. So I called up each one, and they arrived just before Shabbos to refill the tank.
Wow.
So every week it cost me $1,500 just to keep up the Chabad house, the electricity. And we put up 5,000 5 water tanks, which won 1,000 gallons to keep running. So for the first week, actually, even though I had the 5,000 gallons of water compared to people who have no water, our pump was broken, so we couldn't pump the water in. So literally taking out buckets like water carriers. And I must say, I'm still very stingy on water. forget about a hot shower. Yeah. But we showered with quartz and wash our hands in a shissel and take that shissel water, put it in the bathroom. You don't want to waste any drops. Yeah. It's very precious.
It gives you an appreciation for the for water, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you appreciate to be alive, that I have a roof. Yeah. I'm seeing people with nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Appreciation to life is a new level.
Let's help Rabbi Raskin and his family, everybody. By the way, during normal times, how do you keep, supplies and food for, 30 and 60 guests to Shabbos in your freezers? Are you getting constant deliveries from Florida? Like, how does it work?
Okay, so Baruch Hashem, as the years we keep growing, 2 years ago, that's a regular small Shabbos, and the Yom Tovim we reach to much more.
Wow.
And Hanukkah is like the winter is nonstop. It gets very, very busy. So we built in a walk-in freezer in the Chabad house, where every few months we bring in a shipment from Florida or New York. Bring in a freezer container.
And you said there's a Chabad house in Cayman Islands as well. How many Chabad houses are in your quote unquote neighborhood? In that part of the world, I'm such a homebody. If I'm not in Jerusalem or New York and New Jersey, I'm nowhere. What does it look like in the Bahamas?
Right now, there is Chabad in 19 locations in the Caribbean.
What?
Who would believe? Yes.
There are 19. There are 19 Chabad. What number were you in 2014?
We were number 10. Yes.
There are 19 Chabad houses in the Caribbean, all getting their food the way you described it, from Florida, New York, and major shipments.
So sometimes during COVID, we brought down a shaycha down because it was just so difficult to bring things in and get permits.
Wow.
Actually, till today, we make our own Chalav Yisrael. I go 45 minutes from here, actually. We reached out to that fellow who gives us kasher is planned and everything. To just understand the extent of the storm, he literally has cows who are dead.
Oh, unbelievable.
I called him before. I'm like, you have plans to keep your cattle? He's like, no. And they know how to survive the storm. It won't be so bad.
And some didn't survive.
Category 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Understood. Let's help Rabbi Raskin and his family, everybody. What an important conversation this was on a day like today about Emunah, Bitachon, moving forward, remembering who's in charge, remembering who controls the weather and everything else. JewishJamaica.com/Melissa. Melissa has 2 S's in her name. JewishJamaica.com/Melissa. This happened 8 days ago. We have to pay more attention to what's going on in communities around the world, especially those who are in the midst of relief efforts. And those of you in the New York area, Newark, New Jersey has a drop-off point that we mentioned, 257 Verona Avenue. Those of you in Florida, Hollywood has 2927 Bogota Avenue if you want to drop off supplies. And obviously, you could be in touch with anybody from the JewishJamaica.com website. Be in touch with me, email me, and I'll certainly forward you to the right people if you have a major donation you want to make of supplies and or money for the cause. Rabbi Raskin, all I could say is you're very inspiring. I'm glad we were able to speak today, and I really hope that the Jewish community around the world takes notice of what's going on down there and the incredible work you're doing and helps you rebound to get back on your feet.
Thank you, Reb Nachum. Really, really appreciate it. God bless you. And this gala should end very soon.
Amen. And maybe before it does, I'll actually visit you in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
19 Chabad houses in the Caribbean. I can't get over that. Amazing. The Rebbe and my father were very close. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that? I have no idea if you know that.
I know you have a good, a very well connection with Chabad.
The reason I
don't know the details.
I mean, the famous line was, if my father was late for Shacharis, they knew he was either in Israel or he was sitting with the Rebbe. That was always because my father was never late for anything.
Wow.
And I just
I'd love to hear more.
Oh, there's plenty online, and I mention it because it is, he always spoke about how incredible the sacrifice, and I don't think you view it as a sacrifice. I think you view it as an avoda. And your family, your wife, knowing, the type of people that are, leading the homemaking portion and beyond, leadership and homemaking portion of the Chabad house. I think you regard it as an avoda and as a real service to God and to mankind. And, he never stopped talking about the uniqueness of the Rebbe and his shluchim. And I just, all I could say is that the story, as devastating as it is incredibly inspiring.
I'll just share with you one good thing from Melissa. It was, so Melissa hit on Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, first thing I can call our local Jews in our area. So even though I wanted to go drive to them, of course, my car was hit by Melissa with all the things flying on it.
Right.
So I had my gardener take me in his, as we call in Yiddish, Atrante.
Right.
No AC, driving around town looking for the Yidden. And I go, they're sharing their experience and everything. And this fellow guy tells me, he said, you don't understand. I just met a new Yid. His last name is Levy. I said, let me show you. He's just a block away from me. So we walked together to his house. And to discover a new Yid in our city is huge for us. Because we struggle, saying without our visitors, we struggle for minyan.
Yeah.
And just to find another Yiddish male, of course, right away, we ask how he is physically, and we put on tefillin. He put on tefillin for the first time in his life. He goes back to a lineage of Jamaican Jews who came to the island a few hundred years ago. So Melissa's responsible for another Jew putting on tefillin, huh? Absolutely.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you.
And discovering him.
And I would guess most of the 3 million residents of Jamaica are cursing out Melissa. You're being Malamed Schus.
No, I'm not. That's the only Malamed Schus. She's an evil shiksa, I must say.
And nonetheless, you see, even someone as evil as her can lead to an incredible revolution of a Jewish life. Amazing. Rabbi Raskin.
We could say, you want to discover this Yid, you didn't have to do it with a Category 5, Could have figured another way.
There are other ways. I could have picked him up hitchhiking on the road. Come on, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Come on, make it a little easier. It's so true. You know what they say? You'd rather it be done in a much more pleasant manner.
Exactly.
God bless you, Rabbi Raskin. Best regards to your family, and thanks so much for joining us. Continued Hatzlacha. Help Rabbi Raskin and the amazing efforts going on down there. JewishJamaica.com/Melissa. If you want information about the physical drop-offs, email me or contact them through that website. He'll give you all the information. More coming up in America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored digital radio. Around the world, the web at NachumSegal.com and the Nachum Segal Network, and, of course, on the beloved NSN app.